Okay. We are live.
Hello,
Welcome,
everyone.
everyone. Hello, Yash. Welcome, everyone, to this July community call. We're super excited to actually run this end of the month community call. It feel like more than a month, but we are here. So Yash is hosting with me. How is going, Yash, today?
It's going good. It's my second community call, so I'm really excited, everyone. I'm getting to co-host this time. Last time I was like a guest, presenting something around how the Web3 acquisition and everything went. And this time I have some very special things to share with you all. So I'm really excited.
Nice. Yeah, we have also a lot of things that we want to unpack. I think like for every community call, and I don't know how many people kind of like will listen to us, but and already listen to those kind of like MetaMask community calls. Like we're unpacking a lot of kind of like different announcements. We're doing some highlights of the months, kind of like de-granularizing what happens in the ecosystem. But most important, like kind of like we're giving kind of like the floor and we are debating things, from technical architecture to kind of like a hackathon winner showing demos, and I think like the best my best part is that like we are highlighting things that are happening in the ecosystem within partners and within the ecosystem. And yeah, I mean, we are also a lot of things to do, and it's 1 hour. I think we have a little bit less than 1 hour, and we have a lot to unpack. So let's get it started here. I think like this is the first call that we are all orange here, so it's actually very
Yes,
cool.
exactly.
So yeah, that's exciting.
We were
But yeah,
almost
so
going to twin today as well. Like your sweater is kind of twinning with mine, so I'm loving it.
oh yeah, oh
And
yeah,
and
yeah.
talking about orange, it's time to actually paint Solana orange this time around, and that is the main focus of this community call. And to start off, definitely we'll have the highlights presented by Francesco and I, and then there
Mhm.
will be a fireside chat regarding a very special announcement that we'll be just talking about in a bit, and we'll be just talking to Gui from Solana Foundation and Rizvi from MetaMask as well as Akash from SNS. And then there will be the MetaMask card hackathon winners. Finally, we have the winners. There were a lot of projects. I was really excited to view a lot of different use cases
Oh
that you
yeah.
guys came up with. I was really excited to see the whole thing.
Oh yeah, every month with this kind of like MetaMask Dev cook-off, where we're getting so many interesting builders. Like sometimes it's a little bit kind of like crazy because an hackathon, an IRL hackathon, we have 48 hours, and here it's like a month. And I'm hearing stories that people kind of like this is left for days, and it's actually quite scary. But I think like this right now, this ecosystem is not just very fascinating, but I feel like smart contract addresses deployed are all time high. We see much more kind of like ecosystem structure. There is a lot of like let's say institutional entering the ecosystem, but I feel like builders have been always here, right? Like so
Definitely.
it's getting there. But I think I'm excited about this agenda. I definitely look forward for the fireside chat. I'm definitely looking
Hmm.
forward for those couple of like announcement happening, and I'm also like looking forward to Daniel that will present who are the winners, because I think this was one of the longest judging period, and this is also good because we were actually able to have not just a good and a lot of submissions, but also like strong dedicated use case that are difficult to judge. So
It
let's get it
very
started.
difficult
Yeah.
to judge, I tell you. I was involved in the judging, and I'll tell you, it was so difficult to choose out the winners over there.
Oh yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
while we are doing this in the chat, I would love to see some people to tell us where you're tuning from. I'm tuning from Dubai right now, and what about you, Francesco?
I'm in Switzerland right now, and I think like also we will have a Ritzby, and I think people are complaining either it's too cold or too hot. Like this, the climate is crazy those days. But yeah, if you're in us, please ping a comment, tell us where you're kind of tuning in from. I think it's always great to see people all over the
All over
world
the
kind of
world.
like tuning in.
Yes.
Awesome. Oh, nice,
France,
Brazil,
Brazil, that's
France.
awesome.
Very cool. What's up,
We
Jill?
have
What's
the two
up?
sides of the world right now over here. I love it.
Yes, sometimes it's very hard to actually place this community call because we want to kind of like make sure every time zone is in there, and
Yeah.
where this is hard. Belgium, nice. Okay,
Wow.
let's do it. So let's get started. So why we are actually like doing this call? I think like we mentioned a bit. I think we are very passionate about the ecosystem growing. We're very passionate about showing how the ecosystem is vibrant. But thanks to all the partners out there, all the people actually like building together, and just aligned to Web3 values. And I think showing, not telling. Highlighting interesting developer product, not just around the MetaMask Developer Suite, but actually interesting developer suite out there. I think this is also what people care about, and I think also one part. This is not happening in this call. We did that last time. We will do in the next one, but really showcase technical demos, but from the hackers, from the winners. So I'm assuming that maybe for the next community call, we can invite some of those hacker winners to actually showcase what they build. And I think like it's also inspiring other builders out there. Why do you think we're doing this call? What are you excited about, Yash?
I'm excited about the fireside chat. There's so much to talk about different things, like especially with how the integration of Solana is happening in MetaMask right now. I'm actually using it on a regular basis, to be very honest. Like I used to use it via the Snap, via the Soulflare and everything, and now I'm getting the same address right there in my Solana wallet. So much convenient, I'll say. So
Yes.
it's a regular thing, and we'll have a lot more discussion about that as well.
Nice, excited. Yeah, and I think like we're trying to bring the most amount of value in this hour, and this is happening only one time a month at the end of the month. So we're also like trying to kind of like, and we are kind of like filling up all the backlog. So, and we are encouraging everyone in the ecosystem. If you're building cool stuff, if you want to highlight what you build, our door are always open. You can just DM us. And you will see like people are responded, and of course we want to also highlight what's coming next, like a couple of like builder focused announcement, and just highlighting what is happening, giving a floor. Those community call are nothing else as a floor for people to just jump in and present and showcase things. So that's super exciting. So let's actually start with some of the highlights, right? I think we are like 7 minutes in, and what happens in the past kind of month and a half that we didn't present before. I think I don't know how many of you guys listening here were at ECC or jumped in through the live streams, but it was actually crazy. I think 600 plus kind of like live stream happening at the same time, and the two main highlights for us, I think, was the ECC side. But before even ECC, we were at Accelerate, and this is where also like we met with you and awesome other people in the Solana ecosystem, and we ran something called Builder Night. It was the Solana edition, and I think we have also like some picture here to show. So this was Builder Night Can during ECC. So there was all the craziness of ECC, but in the same time we were able to pull off like a Builder Night where we spoke about payments, interoperability, infrastructure, and was very interesting, stable ecosystem, and was very interesting because with really strong kind of like partner like Circle and more, and I think was the first kind of like chat that I do in my life around was basically a beachside fireside chat. And I never did that on the sand. I did one on a grass back in I think it was Eve Prague last year, but never did that on the beach. But I understand when you're saying, yo, I'm in Dubai and it's very hot, because right now the in Cannes also was very hot. Yeah, exactly.
I see
And I think,
two rackets over there for Builder Nights. Were you playing like tennis on the beach
oh
side?
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
wow.
I really like our Rockstar event team is pulling off always really cool things around kind of these experiments, and there were some rackets people could play. Also like I think the Swedish billiard. I don't remember what's the name. You basically need to throw things. And I really like there was also like a live band singing. It was very cool. But I think I
Love it.
really enjoy the first chat and the panel around the infra, and was one of the most technical panel that I see on actually on a beach in general. It was very cool. Okay, let's do it. And the second highlight here is that we try to also bring some picture here, but was from New York City Solana Accelerate. We ran also a very focused builder night around interoperability tooling, and was very exciting because a lot of people showed up, but also a lot of builders around the ecosystem. I was amazed around the Solana developers. Was incredible. We also speak about different kind of prep tooling, deployment system, architectural design, and exciting also to speak about after a bit in the fireside chat with all our partners.
Pretty cool.
Nice. Yes. Yeah, and this was, I think, was a over excited builder night, because was also during Accelerate. So there was all the Accelerate, and then in the evening we ran basically with the announcement that MetaMask was native on Solana. So there was a lot of things. So and after that we work hard with all the partners. I think what we're announcing here later with the hackathon is one side, and there is a lot of things happening as a cascade of events. Nice. Okay, sounds good. I think we're good to go. So I think what is happening here, right? I think go for it.
This is the special news you were talking about. So as we're already kicking off all these different things around Solana, we thought it might be a really cool thing to start a hackathon around it. And because Web3 Auth is now a part of MetaMask embedded wallets, we are kicking off the MetaMask embedded wallet Solana hackathon. So it's you can build everything just directly using our embedded wallets SDK. Any platform you like, web, mobile, Unity, Android, iOS, whatever, and you can just integrate, just come up with a unique solution of your kind. And it's a great hackathon with over $23,000 worth of prizes. So it's seen value you're getting, to be very honest. I might be just trying to build something out there as well. So that will be insanely good. So let's see. Francesco, if you go to the next slideshow, I can talk more about it. So as I mentioned, it's $23,000 worth of prizes. So I'll just quickly tell you a bit more about what exactly is happening. So let me share my screen really quickly.
Let me bring it up.
Okay. So this is the hackathon. It just started right now, if you see. And you have 1 month to just register, showcase something, and just put it out there, right? And inside of this, where we are giving prizes are different tracks. And every single track has multiple winners. So we'll have a ton of winners. So definitely getting a prize over here, it's comparatively very easy, I will say. And I'm hoping for a lot of submissions as well. First of all, you can build some AI agents. Anything you want to do, trading, you want to do some kind of an automation, personalization for people, or smart contract execution directly built on chain. You can just create AI agents using Solana and Web3 Auth directly over here. The next is cross-chain interoperability. So Solana plus any other chain, you can just directly go over there and build a cross-chain bridge. Use something out there which you really like, and it's mostly on the DeFi, NFT transfers, and anything. You can even look at the possible directions what we have highlighted over here to understand what kind of project you can build over here. And one of the most exciting things I feel, the consumer and community applications. So Solana is the most seamless chain in my opinion. I've been a part of the Solana ecosystem for 4 years now, and I love how easy it is to build general applications on top of it. So this is where you can just build anything you like, whatever makes your day better, some kind of a social media, some kind of a event platform, some rewards, or whatever you want. And that can be one of those things you can present over here. Next is RWAs, the most trending thing out there in the community. So you can tokenize RWAs, make a digital identity, and this track is for that. And the final one is DeFi. And interestingly, there's another DeFi hackathon happening. So you can do a cross submission as well, very honestly. A lot of people tend to do that. But we'll be judging mostly people based on how good their application is to the real world, how feasible it is, and how good of an integration they have done with the Solana ecosystem and Web3 Auth overall. On top of these prices, these were the 5 tracks, these were the 15 prices. We have more prices, which is best use of Solana Pay. we'll be having a live stream next week in a couple of weeks around Solana Pay, as well as best use of SNS, Solana name service. So using these, you can even win more prizes on top of this. And definitely, Blockchain for Good has partnered up with us for a really cool bounty, and you can win up to 1,000 USDC over here. And one last, most interesting thing is your social media presence. How well are you able to market your idea, market your project out there? We'll be judging based on that. And it's not just us, we'll be having people vote as well. It's not just us. So you will be able to share it around, you will be able to get votes. And according to that, you'll be able to get this prize as well. So I'm really looking forward for a lot of different things. You can have a look at our idea bank. You can just have a look at this whole like hackathon in general. If you have any questions, feel free to ping us in the Telegram chat or even in the Web3 Auth community. That link you'll easily find out over here itself. And I'm just waiting for a lot of things from your side.
Nice, nice. I mean, it's very exciting because there is also like not. We try to also like work with everyone to put this kind of like track in life that are also like trying to get different builder interests and kind of actually build some very specific any kind of like I know we don't want to be biased, Yash, but any any track that you are kind of like more passionate about that you will like see more builder kind of like appetite here.
Any particular track? I love the Solana for everyday. Everyday impact. I have so many ideas. Like people at one point used to like go for all sorts of like Farcaster stuff for I remember for everyday applications and social media, but there's so much more you can explore when it comes to the like social media side of crypto as well. It's the place where you can be actually you without being feared of any kind of like mistrust or misjudgment of any kind and stuff like that. So I love the Solana everyday impact track particularly.
Nice, nice, nice. Very cool. I really like this kind of like best social presence like idea. I think like, a lot of like people are saying, okay, let's build something, but a lot of time like distribution is also like one part of the game. But I think also the AI powered kind of like Web3 agents is something very interesting. I'm seeing more and more in DeFi specific like kind of like rebalancing use case. And I also starting to see more and more kind of like agents that are rebalancing between different ecosystem. So kind of like cross-chain rebalancing agents is something that I'm very focused on in terms of like seeing the ecosystem flourishing. So that's good. So I would say
Interestingly, you just enrolled into two tracks. You got into yourself into the cross-chain track as well as the AI chain track. So that's interesting. That's an interesting way of winning more prizes. Actually, love it.
Yes, 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 yeah, and I think there is a bunch of rules, and we can go over. I think also like you guys with Gil later, you will also organize some live coding session to kind of like show also like what is happening. But this is also like happening next week, and we will also get more. I think when we have a proper date, we will actually go out and announce that. But I think without further ado, I actually like bring this a little bit to the next level. So I would love to invite here our kind of like esteemed kind of like builders, panelists, and to actually speak about how we unlock multi-chain access for the future of Web3. So I will welcome here you, welcome Akash, welcome, and Rizvi, welcome on stage. Do you want to quickly introduce yourself? And in the meantime, I will untoggle my screen. Welcome, everyone.
Hey, guys.
Hi, everybody.
Nice. Nice. Rizvi, do we want to start with you a quick intro?
Of course. Hi, everyone. Super excited to be here. I need one of these orange t-shirts actually from MetaMask. So I'm Rizvi. I'm based here in Zurich, Switzerland. I'm a product manager at MetaMask and leading all things new networks. And amongst a few other topics, I was also leading the Solana integration into MetaMask extension mobile, which I'm sure we will talk a bit more. And yes, I think that's a short introduction from my side.
Nice. Gui, you want to go next?
Yes. So my name is Guy. I work at Solana Foundation, especially on education initiatives. So everything that has to do with consumers, developer education, university outreach. And a fun little fact, I was actually working at MetaMask previously on the portfolio web platform.
Nice. I was missing so
Love it.
much, Gyu. That's why like you had to come to a community call. That's why.
Of course,
Awesome.
and then I brought over Solana. It was like just the perfect way to
It's
meet.
perfect. Yes, yes. Especially this hackathon. I'm so looking forward to this. Akash, you want to go next?
Absolutely. Hey guys, I'm Akash. I do a few different things at SNS, mainly focusing on DevRel. I make some content. We also host a podcast as well. Been with SNS for about 2 years and excited to be here. Thank you guys for having us.
I mean, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. I'm also excited to have a fireside chat because this kind of like we're always trying to change formats in this kind of like community calls, and I think this kind of like more fireside chat, kind of like thought leadership, speaking about actually builder appetite, and I think all this session is not just all about kind of like Solana integration in MetaMask, but also like we want to unpack what this means for developers, what it means for actually like Solana and EVM developers. Everyone is always welcome, but also we want to kind of overview around identity kind of like use case, how as a SNS is improving the entire kind of like UX ecosystem, and also unpacking stuff like multi-chain access, and also like I think with you, like doing everything around DevX. You are also like right now on the Solana side. I think learning Rust developer is definitely like a big game, and I think we need more. We need to converge because we need more Web2 developer coming in the ecosystem, and I think right now we have so many different paths. So I would say let's get it started. So I will kind of like give some color question, Rizvi, for just to give a context, to everyone. So what went into kind of like bringing Solana support to MetaMask? Why this happened now? How it went? What is in kind of like on all these background?
Yeah, sure thing. Yeah, I mean, many people were probably thinking like, like, why are you guys coming so late into the space? And I think that's probably one of the first questions. But so if you think back, MetaMask, was founded 2016 and saw its growth then, and it was really like it's still like really a lot like around Ethereum, and a lot of the terminologies and the tech stack and everything within the product is really ingrained around Ethereum. And we obviously saw like 2-3 years like Solana is growing, getting a lot of attention, right? Solana is a great blockchain, fast, etc. And slowly we saw like, okay, Solana is getting really big, and we need to really start on think around implementation. But it was just a huge mountain of work in front of us because everything is Ethereum at the core of MetaMask. So that was, I think, a bit of a reason as well why we couldn't or didn't jump too early on the Solana integration, because there was also other priorities around security, around privacy, which took also a bit of priority. But then we pulled the trigger basically last October and said, look, it's a huge amount of work. It will touch on every aspect of the product. Everything that you see on MetaMask will need to be changed to make it multi-chain. And it was not just now when we started out making it integrate Solana into the product, but really making it multi-chain at the core, meaning that, and we are actually working on Bitcoin right now, and Bitcoin will come very soon as well. So the infrastructure that we have built over the past 6 to 8 months allows us to not only support Solana at the best possible way, but also then keep up with the ecosystem and integrate new chains. So it was truly an organizational effort, and a huge shout out to our engineering team. I think Francesco, you were also close in all the work. And yeah, so in May during Solana Accelerate, we have launched 100% of to the users on extension, and like 3 weeks ago we released 100% to our mobile users, and yeah, it's very exciting to be in this space. I'm a huge fan, and also thanks to Solana Foundation for all the great support in like solving or helping us solving technical questions. And also we look forward to launch SNS support very soon with you, Akash. So yeah, a lot happening. So I stop here, but happy to go deeper, Francesco, if needed.
No, I think this is, you gave really good context here, and I mean, our Solana joined Slack, by the way, is always on fire. So many messages, but so that means also there is a lot of kind of like needs from not just user but also like developer in the space. People want to have portability, they want to have uniqueness, they want to have just dApps connectivity at this level. So how, and this is more for you, and feel free always like to jump in. This is kind of like an informal chat. But what kind of like makes Solana architecture unique and challenging for wallet integration? I would love to get this answer both from kind of like on the Solana tooling side, but also on the kind of like identity with NSS and SNS side.
Yeah, I think honestly, Solana at itself, from the wallet side, from the dApp side, the difference are not that big. I would say a lot of the concepts that people have learned, developers have learned in EVM work, when you transition to Solana, all of these concepts are sometimes under a different name. A lot of the things that you will not have to think as much about, for example, will be displaying loaders when you're creating your user user interfaces. But I think the biggest thing to really understand when you are migrating from that ecosystem is the architecture of the smart contracts, which we call programs on Solana. I won't get too deep in there, but when it comes to identity, there's also different formats for wallet addresses. For example, we're using different encryptions, ways of doing, but essentially you should feel at home within the few, I would say, hours of reading documentation. And we have a lot of great resources that will compare EVM to Solana. So we have these documentations, which we can make available also in the hackathon resources. But honestly, the ecosystem is vast, but it's apart from a different blockchain architecture. As you're building applications, you will find some of the same concepts present in general, I would say.
Yeah, to piggyback on that, I think like building with SNS, unfortunately, I don't have context on what it's like building on something like Ethereum. But like we said, I'm assuming the concepts are the same. And with SNS and our SDKs, like I think we take advantage of the performance that Solana gives us. And so you're able to do something like resolve domains very simply. All the methods are quite simple, quite straightforward. And we think that the DevX on Solana is great. Obviously, that's why we decided to build here.
Nice, exciting. And I think Yash, on your side, you have tons of experience on the embedded wallet side, right? And Solana
Yes.
already is native on the SDK. What's your experience so far on that?
So I have developed multiple applications on Solana, and like from the earlier days when Solana Cookbook was a very new thing, like 2-3 months into the lane. And ever since I've used it, it has become so deep and so like too much like a quick starter as well as like a deep dive into anything you want to build with Solana. And from there to then there was a hype of NFTs when I started off, and I was building a lot of different things to building tokens and stuff like that. It has grown a lot. Like right now, if I am thinking about a particular like kind of a smart contract, I cannot imagine that it's not possible in Solana. Every single thing that's possible right now in Ethereum is very much possible in Solana as well. So yeah.
So maybe I totally echo what you said, Akash. So when we started the integration, it's so much more straightforward to interact with the blockchain. Like simple things like getting assets of a wallet address. It's like so much more straightforward, and the documentation is really great. So I think that helped us so much to just speed up the work and get things done there.
Oh, I'd like to add another thing that I think some people might get a misconception is that you need heavy Rust. Some people will often see Solana thinking, Rust is that big spooky language, and in some ways it is. However, the tooling itself, for example, for doing a lot of things with tokens, you'd be able to do it with TypeScript only. So you'd be able, to not even have to write a smart contract to get some tokens deployed and to get a mint going. Obviously, you can still do it in Rust, but I think I want to say, especially to the EVM builders who are worried of, losing their Solidity knowledge, or worried of doing the transition because they're worried about the language. I would say that in general, even for myself, when I was light on my Rust knowledge when I transitioned, I was always more of an app developer and like a UX person, and learning the Rust part I looked at a few tutorials. I looked at the bootcamp that Solana Foundation recorded and that we're going to renew this year. And after watching that bootcamp for a few hours, I was already feeling confident building programs, these smart contracts. So don't let the rust intimidate you. I think in general, it's a it's a vast ecosystem. So there's a lot going on. Things change really quickly. But I would say at the same time, things improve really quickly. And don't worry too much about the learning curve. It is not that big. That's essentially the message I want to come across to most people who are used to building on EVM. And the users on Solana are hyper engaged. So if you launch your project on Solana, you will get one of the most hyperactive community I've seen across all chains. Sometimes you see people launch tokens or new dexes, and the interactions are massive from day one, and the Twitter reception is massive for new protocols. So in general, just jump in. It's not that hard.
100%. I think also tooling, like it's extremely like spread. I mean, there is a lot of like tooling. I was impressed at Accelerate. Like I was into different kind of like workshops. Like it was impressive because you have all the analogy, but also like I'm impressed around the interoperability side too, right? And I think all the developer doesn't need to choose one or one. Like they have a lot of kind of interoperability ecosystem, right? And I think it's for the user need to be kind of like easy. And I also wonder here, Akash, maybe this is generally like SNS, but also identity, because, you know, the only way that we are bringing everything kind of together is through on-chain identity. And, you know, like I want to also understand, you know, how SNS is kind of like fitting into kind of like the big picture. And also like if you have any dev resources that you think like is worth to share, not just for the hackathon, but in general, feel free to kind of like shoot it our way. Yeah, and we have also some question here. Yeah, there you are. Perfect.
The goal is is this one specific to me?
No. What's the goal of trying to achieve? Oh, I don't know. It's just purely, I think, on achieve. No, I think like here the goal is just to speak about kind of like, you know, multi-chain and tooling around for the hackathon and not in general. But yeah, no. The question for you, Akash, was mostly about you know how SNS fits to the big picture, this kind of on-chain identity, and also if you have some kind of like dev resources that you think like, okay, if I'm a builder now, this is something that I would love you to check.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I think there's like a lot of ways you can look at what domains do for UX. At the core, obviously, with a human recognizable identity that's consistent across dApps, we can create something obviously more human, more natural when it comes to the Web3 experience, especially when we talk about onboarding, right, new users. And I think like Web 2 tries to do this sort of with OAuth, which is like the wallet of the old web. But OAuth really feels like just a simplified login, right? Like, yes, there's an identity attached to it, but like it feels like an afterthought. Whereas like domains, you really create like a much more social experience. The domain itself can create this like personalized identity layer instantly, right? As soon as you integrate SNS, like your dApps now have identity, which I think is super powerful. And Web3 in general, I think inherently is a social experience, right? A lot of transacting on Web3 is P2P. And so I think from like a high level, low hanging fruit, wallet addresses, they're hard to read, right? So like creating a real identity around what's happening in a transaction, I think is super powerful. And then it helps with UX, because I think like when you're a normie or you're new to Web3 and you see these intimidating things, this like random hash, I think it can be off-putting. So making something much more human with domains really seems like a no-brainer. It's less difficult to understand and is an easy win that's like major, I think, right? So I think, Francesco, you talked about dev resources. I shared a link with one of the moderators if they could share. It's our Twitter link. It's got our link tree in it. But in the link tree, you've got our dev docs. So we've got developer documentation. I think it's very powerful. It'll walk you through how to use all of the basic SDK functions to get you set up with SNS. Again, this can happen in minutes. It depends on obviously what you have going on in your app, but something simple like resolving domains or creating some kind of identity layer where you're using a domain instead of a wallet address. Very simple, very straightforward. It can get as complicated as registering domains directly from your dApps, setting up domain records, subdomains. whatever you really want to do, we've got documentation for it. We've got SDK methods for it. So highly encourage you guys to check out our Twitter, which has our link tree in it. And even still, if you guys need more like personalized attention, we have a dedicated developer channel in our Discord, which I'm in there all the time, just answering questions or connecting with developers. I think that's a lot of fun. We've got a YouTube with dev tutorials. So like the tooling is there. And I think, I don't know how this is in Ethereum, but I think one of the great things about Solana is like the teams are very approachable, like especially SNS, right? Like especially Solana Foundation, like you can find someone to talk to who's a human and who's gonna, walk you through how to integrate, how to get set up on Solana or with their team. So that's especially the case with SNS. Like you can ping me. My Twitter is @NiftyDgen. Like I'm happy to chat. I'll be on the Discord as well. But that's some of the resources we have.
Yeah, it's not very cool. Go for it.
So on the last point that you said, like that's so true. So when we were in New York City for Solana Accelerate, the Ethereum gang, MetaMask joining the Solana world, like, and I was a bit anxious, like what will happen, like when we go to the places, talk with like Solana builders and so on, and the community. And it was really awesome to see like how welcoming everyone was. It was not about like, hey, you are Ethereum, what are you doing here? It was more like, we are Solana and we want everyone here who wants to build on Solana and make Solana great as an ecosystem. So yeah, that I could truly see, and I think you as well, Francesco, when we were interacting with a few folks.
Yeah, that's why and I picked up also different tooling. I think go on the education side also, like you guys, I've been developing also quite a lot of time, but every day, like if you look at the MetaMask kind of developer suite, we have embedded wallets, SDK, delegation toolkit, right? But I feel also like we need to also like push kind of the narrative, like we are here to help you build an app. You will use tooling around that. But also, like, we need to kind of like make sure that we understand that there are different type of developer. There are people coming from Web3, there are Rust developers. There are people also more beginner or more advanced. So a lot of time, like the need is quick starts. It's not even jumping in on a tooling specifically. I wonder what you're seeing around the ecosystem, because you guys also like onboarding a lot of developers around the Solana ecosystem every day.
Yeah, it is one of the challenges just because the toolings are evolving so quickly. So it is a lot of the challenge sometimes to understand in Solana which tool you should use. You have people talking about different ways of doing the programs, and there's new libraries coming out on the JavaScript side. So one of the things that we have started doing at Foundation is we will be releasing in a few weeks a templates website, which we will be accepting community templates a bit to help the discovery. For example, we'll have on there, and by the way, Akash, if you want to talk about an SNS template, I'd be happy to include you on there. But essentially, a way for people to use our CLI, create Solana dApp, to quick start a template for airdrops, for SNS, for doing something on Drift, or to integrate, Web3 auth directly with MetaMask. So this is the idea that we understand right now that the ecosystem is big and a bit scary when you first get in, but we're really trying to review the DX story from A to Z so that we don't forget anybody, any kind of builders, and not just the people who are reading, like every issue that's happening on the Rust side of things. So we're really trying to ensure that the DX story is coherent from start to finish. And so this templates website, so far targeting mid-August. You know how things go with developers. So I some things, but myself being a dev, maybe I'm over promising, but definitely we're pushing hard to get this live in a few weeks.
That's so awesome. I've always believed like templates are the best way to get people on board. Like for example, if I talk about the Ethereum ecosystem, scaffold ETH is like something everybody uses at every single hackathon. So I'd love to see something similar for Solana as well.
Yes,
Well,
it's gonna come soon.
Nice. What's your take around kind of like LLM specific like builder application? Because I feel like in our docs, for example, like people are starting really to kind of like build and take kind of like standardized repo from the LLM answers, and it's very interesting because the search bar in the docs is starting to be a container ready kind of like education portal. So it's very interesting.
On that end, one of the challenges of building AI applications on Solana right now is that a lot of it is still so new that it's not in the training data of large language models. So that's one of the reasons where give it a bit more time, and as documentation matures and as more people build in these hackathons and in these templates, things will get a lot better. But we have a few community in the ecosystem. There's Codigo, which is like a V0 focused for Solana kind of interface, a bit like Lovable or V0. And a lot more are coming in beta that I've been trying with a few teams. So yeah, I think building with AI on Solana is about to get much better. And it's already pretty decent, but it's about to get much better.
Nice. Exciting.
Yeah.
Excited to this. I'm also looking at the watch a little bit. We have also some kind of like question remarks. We have a couple of like from Manuel here. One method you use to get like to meta like a name and symbol. Is there any open source code we can check? Most interesting in decoding on binary, and then it's kind of like following up on how can we read the token name and symbol on of an ATA. I don't know if you have some kind of like inputs on that. I think it's mostly on the Oracle side.
That's not a topic I'm hyper familiar with. So getting a token name and symbol to build like a portfolio kind of application, if I'm understanding properly the question.
Yeah, I assume so. Yeah.
That's those are two kind of related yet really different questions to connect in a single coherent answer. So I'll try to get back internally with better answers, and I'll try to pick that was a YouTube comment. So I'll try to get better answers, but both being disconnected, I don't have like a clear answer that goes from A to Z in there. So I'll try to get back later.
Yeah, no problem. We have also like one from Richard. This is also on kind of a ENS specific, like, what about ENS attestation DIDs? Like SNS is an identity kind of like, protocol specific, like, so how is working with other identity on-chain protocols, right? Because I feel like developers, sometimes I feel, oh, I need to go with either this or this, but maybe there is some kind of like overarching protocol cross-chain methods that is enabling to mirror on-chain data in all those attestations, but you might know more.
Yeah, that's a good question. I honestly, I don't know if there's anything right now that sort of combines the different naming services on Solana, but there's nothing stopping someone from incorporating multiple naming services and their resolutions in their DApps. And so we encourage you to do that. Obviously, like identity can be a lot of different things, and you have the ability to get creative on Solana with other naming services as well. So yeah, unfortunately, there's not like at least not that I'm aware of, like a library or something that combines all the naming services, but you should be able to. There's no collisions with the.
Yes, exactly. No, sounds good.
Extending one thing on the Richard question, I have something to ask Guy. Like he mentioned about the AA delegations and also like smart contract accounts in general. Like, is there something right there for Solana right now, or like how does it work generally in that ecosystem?
We've had actually something similar for a while. I think that was actually supported before on Ethereum. I'm not familiar with those APIs a lot. I do have an answer though for Manuel on that question, because Manuel did answer that it's yes for a portfolio app. So I'll be sending a few links to a few APIs from the community to get token prices. Essentially, two that come to mind would be Jupiter, which is the largest swaps platform. Another one would be Vibe, which is a great API for that pretty much indexes everything on chain. But for AA, I'm not as knowledgeable. So for that, I'll probably leave that one. You're probably more better than with AA than I am, actually.
Right now, I don't know about Solana Ace. I'm just exploring that around. So yeah.
Yeah, I also wonder if 7702 and delegations works on Solana, but I think not at this point. But I think like delegation are obviously like one way you can actually just trigger events for specific things from recovery to even like sponsoring gas fee from the dApps side to users. But yeah, I mean, on Solana is also super cheap, right? So that's another story. Okay. No, sounds good. And I don't know if you wanna. We are almost out of time here. Like, I have a bunch of other questions, but I think we definitely need a part two. I wanted to dive deep a little bit more around the multi-chain kind of UX, but at this point, do you have anything that you guys want to add on anything? Even inputs for the hackathon. I think a lot of like builders are listening to us right now. You saw the tracks. We built together the tracks. What do you wish, kind of like any specific use case that you wish kind of like builder to kind of like tag? Anything here is open floor for you guys.
I'll go. So I think we've got our bonus track for SNS, build with SNS, and we kind of thought of like what would we like to see from submissions. Our big thing, like I talked about earlier, is onboarding and sort of identity as an onboarding step. I don't know about you guys, but like when I was like really getting into NFTs and getting into the space, when I was trying to convince my friends to do this like Web3 thing with me, the first thing I would get them is their domain, because I'm like, hey, you're on chain now. Like, this is you. You're here. Like, you're part of this, right? And so we really want, I think, domains to be part of this like onboarding step for normies. So when it comes to the hackathon, when you guys are creating these embedded wallet experiences, like, we definitely encourage you to think about identity as a initial step, right? One of the first few steps when you're creating these experiences is like, hey, like, how can I secure my identity on chain? So that's kind of, we have this in the idea bank as well. So you guys can think about it. We've got an onboarding kit idea, which I think is really cool, but it's basically how do I onboard my friend onto Solana, and what are some of the steps that we can take? And obviously for us, like, we'd love to see identity as part of the initial steps.
Nice, Gil or Yash, any kind of like things you want to kind of tell to builders?
I'm too excited for our live coding sessions with Key and Akash. Actually, we'll be building something live out there and something for Solana Pay as well as SNS. So yeah, just looking forward to that.
I haven't done manual coding in a while, so I'll be even though I did it for nearly decades, I'll be happy to get behind the keyboard a bit.
That will
It's
be
exciting.
interesting.
And those live coding sessions are always fun because they're like 1+ hour long with debugging live. So you feel also the pleasure, but you don't know how many people are actually listening, right? So it's also fun. Every time we're also breaking things, and sometimes in the comment are actually like telling us where to look. Debugging together is actually a very cool way to run like a live stream. I think I love this one. Awesome, sounds good. I think we're coming here at time. Thank you so much, Akash, Rizvi. I think any question out there, we'll kind of like redirect to you guys, and I think everybody will support here on the MetaMask hackathon, right? And I'm excited to actually have this not just pool of bounty, but also this diverse track. There is a lot of kind of like tracks where people can actually play with, and the submission I'm sure will be awesome, and looking forward to the live coding session in a couple of weeks. So thanks everyone.
Awesome.
Okay. So I will untangle you guys in the same time, and I will bring up our last speaker of the day. So I'm excited about this part. This is our last part here. We are announcing our latest MetaMask card hackathon winner. And there is a lot that happened during the past month. It actually took a couple of weeks to score and judge. And I think there was a lot on the plate. And without further ado, I want to welcome Daniel. He's kind of like the card everything, right? You ask this guy everything around card. So welcome, Daniel.
You're too kind, Francesco. It takes a village to run a card. There's a lot of great people in consensus.
Yeah, I agree. There's so many work streams that is sometimes it's difficult to kind of like keep up with all the innovation. And let's do it. So do we want to give a quick context why we started this this MetaMask hackathon on the MetaMask card specific?
Surely, yeah. So, I run a bit of the card initiatives here, but also in broader terms, the card is great, right? It's the first real debit card you can spend anywhere directly from your wallet, not a top up, not a prepaid. And I think that in itself is a really interesting product and really better like experience for users. But ultimately, what we want to get out is enabling a type of like self-custodial neo-banking, which doesn't just mean spending, but lending, credit, rewards. When you step back, you look at what a bank gives you. It's saving, spending, lending, credit, rewards. That's what you get out of personal banking, right? And we just think that by tying it to real world spend, 150 million merchants are connected to our card, very easy to get out there. You can start to tie the experience, whether that's like lending, you know, you can spend AUSDC with Aave today. We're working on some credit concept, obviously rewards. You also have the coin community cashback, etc. And we want to build a lot of that. But at the same time, we also want to have a bit of, there was a bit of a failed thing in banking in the early 2010s, which was like open banking. And it was, oh, we're going to completely deconstruct banks and you'll get the best lending and the best credit. Never really happened because the banks wouldn't necessarily play with each other. But, you know, a lot of these folks in DeFi and rewards and loyalty in Web3, I think are a lot more open to that type of collaborative thing. So we want to build services, but we don't want just the card to be a product. We want to be a platform, much like MetaMask, for our wonderful dev community to really showcase the things that they can build. We want everyone to win together, the user, us, you, everybody, right? So was really pleased to do this hackathon. I wasn't a judge. I think that's like maybe a conflict of interest running the card or whatever, but I have watched all the hack quests. Love watching them, love watching everyone's progress. Love the engagement from the community and could not be more happy to announce these winners who are all doing very interesting things. I think, Francesco, me and you can announce the winners, but I had some notes about things for the teams if they're on this call or if they see this later about ways to follow up with us as well on where we can incorporate them more tightly into our offering. So would love to.
Yes, we were brainstorming a lot, right? Because those dApps being built are actually actively contributing to the off-ramping use case. And there is a lot of things building, you know, you can start building, I mean, this is also like was because of the tracks that we put together, right? Like from on-chain identity, off-ramping, like you literally have like an on-chain track record. So you can actually start to think about use case around loans and borrowing. You can actually play with DeFi. There is a lot of like taking basically like interest and spending. So there is a lot of like different use case that Daniel, we're always so passionate about to speak about. And we were so excited to actually bring to life and actually having instrument for builders to build a use case around the card. So I think without further ado, this is us live with all the winners. We will announce, I think they are already announced on Twitter as we speak. And we should do a drum roll or something, but here we are. So congrats to everyone. I think like we can divide this into tracks. So the first track was all about smart agent and liquidity automation. I don't know if you have anything kind of like to say around the first and the second place. So congrats Auto Odl and Juicy and Poor Juice. Anything? Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so like number one is I've told a lot of the hackathon participants. I think I met the Auto Huddle team in Con, which was amazing. I told them that we are looking to roll out kind of like an ecosystem page, and I think a lot of the folks here could fit into that. I mean, I know personally, I'm like most of y'all, I'm bad at saving, but I'm good at spending, and I can't wait to have Auto Huddle like incorporate into our program. I would love to be grabbing, you know, 50 cents off all my purchases, deposit them into Aave, and getting a little savings from my profligate and irresponsible spending. I'm going on vacation soon. My birthday's coming up. I would love to be using Auto Huddle. I think it's fantastic that you can bake a little responsibility into your binge purchases. So I really love that. Juicy, I can touch on with. I think they Juicy won, but then also FreeX is later in here, so maybe I can mix them. Very interested in the work that people are doing to have like kind of merchant acceptance of crypto. Love that you're doing for the settlement part, but like it's important to note that like payments are ultimately like settlement, clearing, reconciliation, and exception management. And I would love to follow up with the teams around. It's great that you can pay and bypass, you know, the networks, but just to note, our card is also like a hardware signer. And we're working on ways that perhaps you can tap the card and then, you know, so you're not like scanning QRs and stuff. And we can also bake in some security stuff there. And one thing to note too is that like a lot of people think it's just MasterCard. It's MasterCard, it's Visa. Within it, there's an issuer, there's an acquirer, there's a processor. There's a lot of these folks that's where a lot of these costs come from. But they're not all bad. Like I would love to work with these teams around like chargebacks and stuff. So like, you know, if someone has a fat finger and they charge me $100 for a few like mangoes at the store instead of 10, you know, I can always ask the guy for the money back, but it's a lot better when there's a way to do it through the network, right? And you could maybe take out the acquirer, the processor or whatever, but leave the network there for those chargebacks. So we are working with MasterCard on those type of things. I mean, it's not even about trusting it. What if I'm just running through the airport, or I'm in the UK on a layover and I buy something? I don't even have a way of contact. I don't know that guy. I can't it was 2 hours in London, when I had my layover. I can't just run back and be like, hey, dude, you fat fingered my purchase, right? So I'd love to work with them. We are super into merchant acceptance of crypto. I mean, the card solves the merchant acceptance by paying out fiat, but we're super into getting the merchants to accept crypto. And you all did amazing work there. But I would love to think about ways to do some of those, those other things beyond just the actual transfer of the asset and all the little tough stuff that comes up in a payment. So really, really great work by Juicy. And then I mentioned FreeX. Sorry, I went ahead of your announcement, but
no, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. I think we can also give. I think everybody can see, on the DeFi driven kind of track. Congrats on Zap and Norris Metapod. I think I remember was a really cool one.
Metapod, just to call me. We have a lot of money for rewards pro. Everyone knows you get 1 in 3. We want them to be honest with our card. I don't think everyone's honest. Like, oh, you get X, Y, Z. We say you get 1 in 3 because those are the baselines. You get 1 for the virtual, 3 for the metal. But we're going to run campaigns where you may be getting 5 or 6 in different months. But instead of giving the higher rate, we give the lowest rate because we want to be honest with the community. But let's be real, you're going to get more rewards. And I would love to see if tokens in a no loss lottery could be the rewards. So not only are you getting cash back, but you're also getting a chance to maybe win. So Risk Metapod, call me. We got stuff to talk about. Would love to meet you this autumn. Sorry, go ahead. The multi-chain and USDC.
Oh, this is good. This is good. Multi-chain USDC. So congrats, FECN, FreeX, and illegal. I think is something maybe from Cannes in French, but congrats to those guys. I think on the multi-chain side was also involving a lot of Li-Fi SDK and the Circle V2. So there was I was very excited about this track. I don't know if you have anything that you want to say on those submissions.
Yeah, I loved FECN. They rolled identity into it. They rolled payments. It was really cool. One thing to think about, I guess, is just the security. I mentioned there's a hardware signer in this. So maybe we could work together to you tap the card once at the merchant just to say all right, I trust you. You're my bodega. You're not going to rip me off. And then we can do the facial payments. Whereas in another one, I probably don't want to pay everyone with my face. That's a little bit dangerous. So we could have an initial authentication where I go to my barber, my bodega, the local restaurant I really trust. I tap once and I'm always leaving my house without the wallet. It's tough. So and even the phone, I'm an absent-minded guy sometimes in my personal life. I'm very but I'd be great if I would love to use FECN, especially with that surety that if FECN does well and they're in 1 million merchants, congrats to you guys. But maybe I only trust 160 of the million, and we could work out a way to authenticate. Okay, this is an FECN enabled merchant for me. So that's one I like. For Illegal, just a note, not announced yet. We'll be announcing soon. Love participating with the real estate folks. Obviously, we're all about the real world. So we are talking to some folks where you can buy tokenized participation in real estate, but you get the rent in USDC. We're going to let you spend that USDC with a card. Others we're talking about depositing your tokenized real estate as collateral to take out loans. So love the space. And if there's a way for us to collab, that'd be great. Yeah.
Nice. And then I think the last before the bonuses was the composable cross-chain application. I think we gave the first prize to Cross-Chain Reward Hub. Anything to say on that one or in general on the cross-chain side?
Yeah, no, the really impressive stuff. I think one thing that you should maybe reach out to, we have the card team, but where I mentioned with the ecosystem, but we also have the portfolio team. I think it could be a great place there. My colleague Alex Greneker runs that. So if you want to reach out about maybe getting included in the Linea Hub, Liz Bazordo or Alex Greneker could talk to you. I'd be down to talk in the ecosystem part of the card. And that applies to some of the others I mentioned before. I want to do the rewards with the Risk Metapod, but they could also have a good space there. Auto HODL. So those teams should definitely follow up with us. We really love to highlight the great work you've done.
Nice. Yeah, and then we had the dedicated kind of pools around best use of Circle. So congrats again, Juicy and Purjuice. Best use of Circle, so FreeX, best use of Li-Fi, and FECN again on the best use also on MetaMask SDK. So there was a lot of interesting subtracks. So I'm looking backwards now. Did you so we definitely need to do kind of like a part 2 here. What did you guys enjoy the most here? Was the builder support? Was the track? Was kind of like the engagement with the submissions? Any kind of like experience so far? Because I'm definitely excited to have like a MetaMask Card Hackathon part 2. Maybe bringing some SDK for actually like builders building already dApps around card. What do you guys think?
I feel this is the perfect use case of delegation toolkit. Like this can be such a great addition to the hackathon with delegation toolkit next time. I would love to see more use cases around that.
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah, I just can't wait. I just to back up what Yash is saying. Like the card today, my parents use the card. I set it up for them. You know, that's great. But like, not everyone's always ready to like manage their own keys or interact with all these DeFi protocols. They don't know how to like sweep yield or whatever. And our big ambition is, we love all of our, 100,000 users or so of the card to date, but they're very crypto native. And I really want to roll it out to folks that are like, instead of me setting up the EOA for my mom that she spends from, I'd love if she, or my mom, let's not do the gender thing. Everyone says my mom, my dad knows less about crypto than my mom. My dad, I set up the card too, right? My uncle. Old guys do not know crypto either. Let's not like call it the women thing. It's every older, normal people too. I got friends my age, peers. Especially who would love to have dollar access. I have family and friends in a lot of emerging markets, but they're not super dialed in on crypto. If we could find ways to easily onboard them with the card, but then also give them those, not just spending, but as I said, saving, spending, lending, credit, rewards. And yes. I just think everything around smart accounts there and the wonderful collaborative work we can do with the MetaMask dev community is really going to enable that. We actually had we have a project kind of called DGen. We don't want to make grandpa's DGens, but it's called DGen Grandpa because we just want to get a grandpa from somewhere like 76 years old who just wants dollars, yield, rewards. We want to be able to onboard him and he feels comfortable. He's underbanked, perhaps he's underserved. We want to serve him, but we got to serve him on his terms. And that's an internal code name. But I think you can all become part of Project DGen Grandpa with all of us.
Interestingly, like Web3 Auth like dashboard or what we have examples are all called crypto grandmas.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good tie up in between all of our different dev offerings. One is for crypto grandpas and one is for grandmas. So it's pretty.
We're onboarding the whole family.
Yeah, but I can iterate on the delegation side, right? Because we're speaking so much about delegating right to do things, and finally, with also like delegation toolkit, you can actually build this enforce on code, right? So it's a concrete solution here that every dApps, every founder can actually adopt. Nice. And looking forward, for having a second edition of this. I think also like we need to kind of like backlog and seeing, okay, all those winners, all those submissions, what you say there, Daniel, on the ecosystem kind of like page, thinking about also how we can build on top of and empower those builders that build kind of like a MetaMask card ecosystem with our partner Circle and Li-Fi. The big shout out to also everybody that was judging and helping driving this hackathon forward. Because without those guys, it would be impossible.
You're thinking everyone, but let me thank them again. The devs, fantastic. We love you. Circle, Li-Fi, but the MetaMask dev team, they're not going to thank themselves, so I will. Incredible. I've been a little busy. I don't know if we launched the card in we launched the card in Canada. We've done DeFi integrations with Aave. We have a new earn button that integrates to the card. So we've been shipping a lot. And some days I'm a little bit too busy, but to follow the hackathon totally. And I just know it's always going perfect because MetaMask Dev, y'all are fantastic. So thanks to all three groups, our co-sponsors, our devs, and Francesco, Yasha, Marachi. You are the best in the game. Love y'all.
Yes. No, a lot of people also to put this community call in the background. So awesome, Daniel. Thank you so much. Looking forward to ask you next and hearing also what we're shipping around the card. But I think this is also deserving a slot in the next community call but after your vacation, you mentioned you're going on holiday, so we'll not keep you here too much.
I'm ready. I'm ready to spend a lot and take that HODL app. So when I get back, I got a little bit of balance left over. Thanks all.
Nice. Thank you so much, Daniel.
Also happy
Appreciate it.
Have a good one, folks.
Cheers. Okay. I mean, I'm excited that we are 8 minutes on, but I think was very interesting, Yash. Which session do you like the most?
Fireside chat for sure. It was so much interesting questions that are floating around. I loved it overall.
Nice. Yeah, same. The Farsi chat, I always enjoy kind of like breaking down the winners. I think like, next time we should definitely have some winner presenting what they build, because I think it's very powerful for other builders, founders out there to actually like understanding the power of actually like tooling. And I think a lot of those winner were also we were also like, half of the code was also like AI built. So there is a lot of kind of like, vibe coded apps. So we encourage all the time user, marketers, designer, UX designer to actually like be part of those hackathon, because that's the entire idea. It's not IRL. You don't have the 48 hours pressure, and you can extend functionality. Like if you're building something, you can extend the functionality of what you're doing. But I think also one of the big highlight is the hackathon that is incoming. I think you can literally build and use embedded wallet for any use case out there. I don't know how you guys drill down the five main track, but I think it's exciting because every founder out there can actually like extend and build on and leverage the embedded wallet solution for having and the onboarding more users. So there is a lot to unpack there. And it's 1 month, right? Yeah.
Anything. So that was the aim of these tracks as well. Like anything you can think about it, there is a track for around that. So you will be able to incorporate that.
Yes. I'm excited. Okay. Thank you so much, Yash. And also thank you so much for everyone involved and in the background. I think there is a massive amount of like work being done for organizing those calls. And thanks everyone for listening here. 1 hour is a lot, but at the same time, we're trying to condense all the information in this hour every end of the month. And I will see you guys to the next month. And thanks everyone. And looking forward for those announcements, but also what's coming next. Thanks, Yash, for co